Thank you for joining me. We are going to give you a few minutes to spread the word around. Spread the word around. Let everybody know that we are here and we are ready to get going. We are ready, so I'll let you spread the word around as much as possible. And today it's going to be quite interesting because we have to deal with some of these issues. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a few more minutes. Spread the word around. I'll also be spreading the word around that we are here. We are live on TV Bakwetu. My name is Elias Munsha, and I'm coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta, from our law office here, from our chambers at Munsha Law here in Calgary, Alberta. And as usual, we are always very, very much interested in things that are happening in Zambia. Because some people just want me to shut up, right? Like, why are you talking? Why can't you just go away? They want to, but we have to stay by and analyze some of these things. Okay. Today, I want to mix up things a little bit. We're going to talk about the manifesto letter, but I just want to deal with abduction and fraud, okay? Because these two matters are very much alive in the Hakainde Hichilema cases that Honorable Edith Nawakwi and Chilufya Tayali have reported, right? And so I just want to help, okay? I need to put a disclaimer here. If anyone requires legal advice, please do not consult me, okay? You've got to find a Zambian lawyer who can help you with issues that require legal advice. For me, I practice out of Canada here in Alberta, and so I don't have rights of audience in Zambia. And so if I touch on an issue that requires a Zambian legal practitioner, please consult Zambian lawyers, okay? Because sometimes I comment on the law and I see some people writing me inbox messages asking me about legal advice. I can't. The reason why we lawyers are supposed to only consult members of the bar is because of insurance, so that you don't take responsibility. Each time that you are giving out legal advice in a professional setting, several things are coming into play. And so I don't want to be sued by anyone who gets swindled because I gave them advice in my inbox. No. So consult Zambian lawyers. Okay. So now we're going to look at fraud, okay? What is really going on when somebody alleges fraud? The case in which the Hatembos sued Hakainde Hichilema was disposed of, I think, in January. Was it January or February? By the Lusaka High Court. The Lusaka High Court judge, I believe it was Sharon Newa, a very steady, it was either Sharon Mwewa or Mwikisa, I can't remember, Justice Newa or Mwikisa, one of them. And I think these two judges have been very good as far as their decisions are concerned. You can read them and you can actually make a lot of sense out of it. The issue that the Hatembos had sued Mr. Hakainde Hichilema for concerned the farm number in Kalomo, farm number 1924, okay? And so these transactions happened in 2004. 2004. That is how many years ago? Maybe 15 years ago, somewhere there. The fundamental issues that were going on in that court case was that the Hatembos were alleging that Mr. Hichilema committed fraud or fraudulently bought their farm. And so they brought it as a civil case. What it means when somebody brings a case in civil case, it means that it's a private affair between two people. They have a disagreement and then one person sues another. It's known as a civil case. In a civil case, when we are drafting what are known as pleadings in a civil case, you should not allege fraud lightly, okay? The reason is that in a civil case, when you allege fraud, you are liable for a higher cost award. when you allege fraud and you don't prove it. And fraud must be specifically pleaded. I know that some of the information I give out here might sound like Greek to some of you, because all you are interested in are constitutional issues. But when we go to the boring aspects of the law, right? Because sometimes the law appears to be very interesting, but the only things that are interesting is actually political law. When you go into the meat of other areas of law, you find that it's extremely boring, and even many law students, they find it extremely boring. So I might bore you a little bit with some of this detail. So what you require is that it must be explicitly pleaded. So you must plead fraud. And when you plead fraud in a civil case, you must really have evidence, because the court system expects that people are not going to be routinely pleading fraud when they sue other people privately, right? And so the court system itself has a way of trying to check that individuals are not alleging fraud routinely, and that fraud is specifically pleaded. And then if you lose after alleging fraud, the court is going to punish you with a greater cost award. And the reason why the court is punishing you with a greater cost award is because courts do not want you to be pleading fraud when in fact you have no evidence to plead fraud. In any case, the Hatembo and Hakainde Hichilema case happened. The Hatembo and Hakainde Hichilema case happened. It was a civil case. It went to a civil judge in the Lusaka High Court. The judge looked at the evidence. Very important. The judge looked at the evidence, looked at the statute of limitation, looked at the fraud allegation, and dismissed the case. All right? That the Hatembos had raised against Mr. Hichilema. One of the things that they had raised in that decision was, and the judge, I think, was correct. Number one, that the land aspect, okay, not the fraud aspect, the land aspect of the dispute was time barred. The reason why you need to bring your civil cases in good time is so that there's certainty as far as land disputes are concerned. There is certainty. If you leave the land questions open, then there's going to be a lot of confusion within the administration of land. And so, naturally, there's got to be a limitation as far as civil disputes regarding land. Secondly, Justice Newa also dealt with the issue of fraud. She looked at the evidence and said that even if fraud was specifically pleaded, there was no evidence that was led that was credible enough to make the fraud allegation stand. Okay? And as a result of that, she then dismissed the case. And what did she do? She said, therefore, then that there will be a cost award that is awarded to Mr. Hichilema, and dismissed the case. Within the afternoon of the decision, we understand that the Hatembos appealed. Now, we are not sure about who appealed, because the Hatembos a few days later came up and said that they were hoodwinked. First of all, when they sued originally, one. Secondly, that even the appeal, they had no hand in it. They were no longer interested in the case. And I do understand that they would not be interested because they suddenly realized, okay, but this is not just about the land dispute. Rather, it is a dispute that is bigger than just the 1924 land in Kalomo. They finally realized, okay, but kulifyo muntu ushirefwaya againdo bati ateke. And so when they realized that, and community leaders from Kalomo and Choma, from Mazaboka, community leaders, Imfumu, political leaders, civic leaders, but so that they bring some peace in this kind of conflict. Number, what has happened is that the Zambian state apparently has interest suddenly. Now, where is this interest in this private civil matter coming from? The first source is a gentleman known as Mr. Chilufya Tayali. So Mr. Chilufya Tayali went to the police and used the same facts as were in the civil case to report Mr. Hichilema to the police so that they can open a criminal investigation, right? Now, the criminal investigation is likely going to follow the same facts as the civil case. What are these facts? Allegations of fraud, that there was a fraud that happened when that transfer of land was done. And so the state suddenly has taken a lot of interest in the criminal aspect. So they're not only just interested in the civil case that Justice Newa Omwikisa dismissed. I need to get this right here. But also that they're going to get a lot of interest in the criminal case and deal with it as a criminal case, and the criminal case of fraud. The issue is that usually the state does not have a lot of resources. So when somebody tells you that nobody is above the law, they are actually lying. The reason is because when the state is deciding to investigate a case, they don't have enough police, right? So the Zambian government does not have enough police. It does not have enough prosecutors. It does not have enough fuel in their cars. And so they have to decide where they allocate resources to investigate crimes. So crimes such as fraud, paper crimes, right? They are not a priority when it comes to resources. What has happened with the fraud case of Mr. Hichilema is that the state has made it a priority where it has directed a lot of resources to Mr. Hichilema's case. We look at it and we think there is something fundamentally confusing there. At the time when there was a civil killer in Kitwe, the police had no resources to investigate that matter. And yet, they have enough resources to invest into this Kalomo fraud scheme. That happened 15 years ago. We find when we say that this prosecution is politically motivated, it is because the way the state is assigning resources is telling us that this could in fact be politically motivated. Now, they have tried to investigate, and I think the police have noticed that there isn't much to go with in this case. It does not take rocket science. You see, if you learn if tafyashu pefya kovat virefwa iko rocket science nangwa mano aya mwibuku just chwempala and milenge common sense vakapokola bene tabasangiremo nangufimo iyo panto nabo bene fya bachita confused. The problem is that there are some political agitators. Now I want you to get this very well. There are political agitators, Honorable Nawakwi and President Chilufya Tayali. Political agitators. These political agitators, they are the ones that are threatening policemen. In fact, the Inspector General of Police is being threatened. In a country that prides itself on the rule of law, the Inspector General of Police is being threatened by a private, useless gentleman who is threatening the Inspector General of Police that ngata umwiketo oyu muntu. In case you understand that? A private individual threatening the Inspector General of Police, telling him what iwe kamwikate haka inde Hichilema. Ngata umwikete chikabipa. And so that's the reason why our conclusion, these are politically motivated charges. There is no truth to them. It is all something that the state is trying to cook up. Not only the state, It is something that political agitators are trying to cook up in order to implicate this gentleman. Nishamweshiva. Echeche. Nadimu monapo and nadimu tandadirapo. No, but apart from that, nishamweshiva. But when I look at ngana tantike thin to fiance na fitantika. Ero nasa fimona na soporo lanjevere apa tapale moneka buno yo. Okay. Iringirine mundu poa. Nangu mu batundu imitundu fwe baushi. Kuna bokulaka mulelaka. Na neba umwaushi munobe. Mwalaka. Nangu ngate mwalaka no mwina kabende. Nangu abena ngumbo abepi babulurushes. Kuti tuwalaka. We can even call each other because we are, that's what we do. As a family. No, but that's exactly what happened in Kalom. The Mbiabe by church state to issue. Vale la kana va neighbor wa Hatembo. Eba Hatembo va fulwa. We very iwaga in the neighbor and kanshi. My tribesmen. Neighbor. If you want star walufianya kakushitira Simon. That's normal. Filachitika. Elo nomba the community leaders. Bapone namo na bena. Pantute itvare kefie people vare laka. No. So the community leaders, traditional leaders, tribal leaders, they decided to go over to vare take peace. That's their job. Fwe wemfumu shesu. Sinja chief Milambo. Nango chief Sokontwe. Nga akutira ine ndera kana ba neighbor. My chief cannot be involved. So nombe mfumu shabatonga. Esha itire church. Shaita na matembos. Ukoba tiveka le panshi bachiteshani bomfwane. Efyo ndemona. This is not factual. Devi panga fe gumutwe. Elwe mfumu shapone namo. No, you notice Mukuni is chief of the Toka layer. No, but even if Mukuni is chief of the Toka layer, southern province. If you're Mukuni Alanda, in other words, he's the de facto leader of southern province, traditional leader. We can't dispute that fact. So if he says that is the de facto leader, could intervene so that to resolve internal problems that are happening among his tribesmen. Ekuteka chalo, nombakanshkuteka shani chalo mwe. Inenga ndela kanabe nakabende. Na baunga. Na bena ngumbo abepi. Elo nomba mwata. Kazembe, alanda atara chako intervene to resolve the problem. Nishalufianya? I want you to tell me. Nishamileke yo. Pantu, nishalufianya. Mwata, nanguba Milambo, nanguba Sokontwe, nanguba Kalaba. Infumushesu. Elo balanda timwe, I want to intervene so that Mika Dikepansh Musovik a problem. Nishi, that becomes a crime? I really don't know. I want you to tell me, is that a crime? So, mwalefwa ya abatonga bene barera ka infumu ya abatonga Mukuni of the Toka layer, alabe kofie. Techabalandireko no kuchitako intervene in one way or another, bane imwe muri lubalupwa. Sit down and resolve this problem. Techach tefyo kumuikata. Nomba uwafya bulipo wako bati nga waupwa mulupwa. We waupwako kuchenjera. Teti wewe waupwako kulupwa. Elo nombanga kuwabaka problem. Ni wewe. You are in the forefront. Omuto walupwata witika. Aifia kupuko tafiololwa. So kaishi kuchenjera. Kulika internal family squabble kukalomo. Iwewe waupwako fye kuvatonga. Kuba very careful. tekuya muna iwe wayamkuichitamo waingira muna iwe ati this is our problem. Mwevo, it is not your problem. Imwe problem yenu nikuisa nikuna konde ngachakutira kuli uwafya kuna konde abamambwe na abena mwanga bareraka uwafya bove by all means nomba abena ama neighbors kukalomo bareraka elo yo afuma kuna konde wayachita intervene inshuli wa mulomo uli wabufi ebufi bwine no mulomo mwevo. Ebufi kanshikuba careful ufiro kula ibwera mwefintu fimo tekupimpa everything wapimpati you are going to resolve them bantu abanga balaka elo fyamfu anakuntanshi we ukamonekera mwechipuba niwe ati chiwewe aniwe bantu bena bakonfuana elo nangulande wino accent ya chitongo kulanda wino echitonga. If you are nishi, you are not tekwevera pofi na ifoefe chava kwesuku bwaushi so tekwisa mukufikosha sana ati pantura lande chaushi ulalavira walichishiva nenzo zero shonze jesu walichishiva eyo inenga ndera kana abena kabende uigesa mukuipone na moyo no. It's our family squabble with my neighbors. Why should you come and intervene? Chimwati mpezeni angawa undi, they are quarreling. Kuba careful. So let's say advise informally, not in the way in the forefront. Webere uyuire hichire ipaye hichire muipaye nomba bene na bachita realize ko batawe bana what did it's not meaning very well. Ati she's the one who was sponsoring that family, calling them to Lusaka for meetings to hire lawyers, checking in lodges. Bana is very concerned about this Hatembo family, but it's a big scandal. And she fights injustice. And because of her passion for justice, that's how she's helping the Hatembos. Fiabufi. Therefore, I'm unchereko. Fiabufi. Ubufi bweka. Well, Ababana Wakwinga were concerned about leaders. Would she be supporting Mr. Edgar Lungu, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu? In the history of our country, the only president who has been implicated by a tribunal, professional tribunal, by the Law Association of Zambia Tribunal. Now, suspension, Law Association of Zambia, suspended President Edgar Chagwa Lungu for stealing a widow's funds when he was a professional lawyer. Number Lungu na wakwe eoba supporta Lungu bana wakwe. And so we are asking, if you stand for the truth and for justice and for thieves and kelenkas not to assume office, why are you supporting Edgar Chagwa Lungu? So, it's not sincere. I always say this. If Hakainde Hichilema tomorrow is elected as president, now I could be in the forefront. UPND supporters. You'll be secondary. Now I could be right at the front. Nishnaka kechitengene chitambala bwino. Ati we mnandi. And so it will be like Semeki. Mulichi mulamu. Ati mulamu fijana alenseke shako fie mwisa kama na yo na tuteke. Na yeka inde ichilema evere. No problem mulamu. Mulichi mulamu fiakosa. So no mefia kovati personal hatred yabo at the moment each day affect the peace and integrity of our country. We as Zambians are saying no. Our politician muliba mulomo. That's what you do all the time. Dionse mulema with all these huge and grandiose allegations against your friends, only to go and sit down together no kulia beans. Pam. na derere lunkomba ukudya. So we should not be, our country's peace should not be jeopardized due to your current temporary enmity, temporary enmity. Ero nomba after HH Ngawina August, Muka Pimpe, you be in the forefront. We know you, a politician. Anyone to tell me about they don't know the politicians, how they behave? Who knew that Katuka today will be MCC in PF? Charles, oh, not Katuka, sorry, Kakoma. Bakatuka munjerereko. Imwe. Imwe, you are strong in UP number. Ababa bakatoka. Ni bakatoka. Charles Kakoma, bakakoma. Charles Kakoma. Ishina diagwesu, Kakoma. Who knew? A few weeks down the line, I'd know he's now PF. Elo nomba tosumine when vaitef na wakwi vatuletera umulomo nobufi of this nature that she sincerely believes HH is not good enough. I want you to tell me, how many politicians have claimed grandiose things about their friends? No, I have evidence against this person. I have evidence against this person. Mailo bwacha mwebo mwabasanga bali babiri. Bale eria nabo, bale enwa nabo, no kuiva, bale ibira pamo. Elo imomwema supporters mwadabo. Wasn't this the person who told us ukwewa tujeni satana? Well, how many MMD politicians told us ukwewa Sata was a Satanist? Didn't Dora Celia tell the people of Zambia Okwebati PF was a satanic party of homosexuals? What happened after Sata dies in 2015? Dora becomes one of the most significant leaders of the Patriotic Front. Today, she's an MCC, and she's singing, she's dancing for the Patriotic. The very party she said was a satanic party. Now, today, you are telling me, Okwebati, there will be something different from Banawakwe if the UPND formed government in August? No. And so my issue has got nothing to do with whether which party rules. This is not a partisan concern that I have. It is a concern that this particular issue has the potential to embroil our country in civil discord, civil war, civil confusion, and civil unrest. That is my only concern. So now, they've started arresting Tonga leaders. And today, Ms. Nawaku was asked, have you seen any Namwanga being arrested? Have you seen any Bemba chief being arrested? That's exactly the point, Ms. Nawaku. The point is that it is the Tonga leaders that are being arrested for a dispute between the Hatembos and Mr. Hichilema. For a private dispute. Ichalo nomba kanshi imwe mulefu echalo chonse nomba chisteshani chingire munkondo. Because for how long are you going to be arrested, the Tonga leaders? Nomba ni Mukuni mulefu haya. And for what crime? Right? Abduction, ain. At abduction, Mukuni, eo mulefu waisha at abduction. Kwena nensoni tamwakwata. You know? Insoni fie, you know what I mean? Uwata ko fie insoni. Insoni. Kadiaka soni tapali yona kamo ensoko. Ukutina abantu no muchinshi wabena Zambia. Tapali. They now want to go for Mukuni. Mukuni who says the same things that chiefs all over have said. Should we go into the record of Chitimukulu, His Majesty Kanyantamanga II, if Walanda, about parties? And it is okay. Mukuni, no. Let's go kumvumo Mpezeni. What Mpezeni has said. Nkosi yamakhosi Mpezeni. No? The only issue is what Mukuni has said. Let's go to the current things that are happening in Northwestern Province. Where Malanji the Kelenka, Malanji the thief. Malanji, Malanji, I want to directly say, without apology, what Malanji is a crook. Is a crook. Malanji, Joseph Malanji is a crook. Now, what Malanji did was, na evidence not what. So Malanji went kumfumu shaku Northwestern Province. First of all, solwezo kuyabapera 600,000 kwacha. Ero nombaya ku Northwestern Province. Uli wakalunda na wakalubale na wakachokwe. Kumfumu. Nako kuine aya, and because of these chiefs ukulando kwebati, their areas are no-go areas for UPND. Malanji. Those chiefs are free to politic and to say anything that they can say. Mukuni cannot. Our chiefs, when Chitalu Chilufia was arrested for corruption, our chiefs, Enfu Mushaba Ushi, Enfu Mushabe Nakabende, Enfu Mushaba Unga, Enfu Mushabe Nangumbo, Enfu Munashimbi, Sharia Mukot, Ukuikala Mukot, abati Chitaluchilufia muntu wesu imfumu mwebo. We criticize them to ebere imumwesha mfumu. Why did you go ukuitumpa mfiaso abatu uyu muntu wesu uyu to ebere uyuni. This one is nikerenka ati yomkwai wesu ngale first of all wesu ati fia bukerenka fienu ifyo ngale first Chitaluchilufia muntu wabana muntu wesu imfumu in a magistrate court in Lusaka during COVID times. Mukuni teti alanda tuyuhichirema muntu wandi. Mwebo, kano fyami wami na fyemweka. One Zambia, one nation kanshi. Fyami wami na fyemweka. Fienka fye, kano fyemweka. Firemi wami na fyalo wa mwaunfu wa buino epela. Aba nenu, ngabalanda kwa tuwi muntu wandi. Ati it's tribalism. Aba nenu, ngabaya chako intervene. Mutuma squabbles udurechitika. In their area. Ati yo, you can't do that. It's kidnap and abduction. It's abduction. Nishishibe, but mukumona kwandi ukubomfyafya amano yakuchu again amano fya yakuchu empala ndemona ndi mfumu sha Southern Province shale foko chita intervene in the Hatembo case efmdechmona but seko intervene ukwebati you people sit together, your brothers umfwa iwe uyu aka inde hichilema balefo kumwikata balefo kukubomfya webo Hatembo. They want to use you, Hatembo, so kwebati, vekate, bepaye. They want to use you as Judas Iscariot. They want to use you. If you're demona, I have no evidence, but ukufimona fie, ukubomfia mono ya kuchuempana. If you're demona, now because the state is interested, by the state I mean the Patriotic Front, but is so much interested in Uyumuntu Hakainde Hichilema, they want to get him. If this guy, Hakainde Hichilema, was guilty even for a little thing, by now ngatamula ndangabadi payakale. That's all. They would have already, ndala narabweke shapo, ba mutinta, abe pwa baba Hakainde Hichilema, ngagale bapiana. Ngagale no kutalala ngapari talala. Uyu muntu uyu ngali bapofye. Nangu atanya ntapaka anakankoko. Nangu ataya atonia kofia amavere atonia. Inonshita. No yumwera ngeule uleta. Ngabari ipaya. Necho tabai ipaira nicho. There is no evidence. So they begin cooking up evidence. If this gentleman is a criminal, tulangeni kwevia bwati via file panga says not ukuya ku kesi ya 2005 ati emulandu wako ete. That's why he can't rule. 2005, 15 years ago, ati mulandu taubola mwebo. kuyisoko umulandu tawubona mulandu unshushibona umulandu unshushibona all these years umulandu tawabolele all these years ati milandu ishibola shabalungu fye beka bayibila wito ati beno umulandu walibola mwebaume ngabana kabanshi mairo kuli court case yabana kabanshi tatushibe what the result will be bena walibola ngabachita chirufya walibola bachitotera walibola mwaka mona kapata nakakwebati bakerenka ababemba nabaushi abakumansa nakumwense nakuncherenge nakubangweulu bene milandu shirabola ushibola mutonga kanjo mutonga pango mulandu 2005 bwafya sana necho mulandu uyu waimino wakwachishimba kambwiri nicho he was against PF efyo bayireimba bayimbululu emilandu bamukaika chishimba kambwiri and he's answering for it today. We understand that ngaba PF nijine milandu shonse shabola so your expression yako bati mulandu taubola kuti mwayaye bakobambi. What we are seeing here is the patriotic front abe shibo kwebati ifintu fya pena obungo the Zambians cannot trust them anymore. So number kwambo kufuairisha a way to stop the person they are perceiving to be the greatest threat to their hold on power to continue stealing. This therefore brings me to the PF Manifesto. Right? Today, President Lungu went to Mulungushi International Conference Center. No kuisusha chiho chonse chiria. No kwamba ukubepo obufi. About the PF man. It's a manifesto of Madongodongo. What did President Lungu say? President Lungu said from that document of the manifesto, they will abolish road tax. The reason why they're abolishing road tax is because they are saying that they have got toll gates. Now, if you are the ruling party, that will require all the good things that you are talking about, we need action. Alenibane na mairokatari, just abolish road tax today. Now, they are not going to abolish road tax. The reason is because this government is broke. They have no money. So they are taxing Zambians from every angle. Every angle, they are taxing Zambians because they don't have money. University lecturers have not been paid. Council workers have not been paid. The reserves at the Bank of Zambia are shallow. There is nothing. $2.5 billion. They've borrowed money to build airports, 3 airports, $1.something billion that we did not have. We had to borrow to build airports. And so we are in a very fiscally binding situation, very fiscal binding situation as a result of the lack of discipline. President Lungu bored himself. If you are kwebati ama none yeka mulia mumwera mulia bwafya sana. If you take luxury jets, elo babe peshama soldier at ma soldier babe that for security reasons you need luxurious jets. Elo nomba lelo bese babe at they are going to get rid of road tax. I looked at it. I'm like, if you're Madongodongo Wufi. The other thing is, they're saying that they're going to strengthen the law to prosecute people that are found to be stealing money from the government. Here is a very simple question. Does that include Chitaruchirufia? Does that include Chitotela? Does that include all these thieves? Or now you are going to come up with this new plan of prosecuting thieves? What about the honeybee people? The people who stole money from the government and then supplied rotten medicines. Does that include them? Zambians do not require a manifesto from Kelenka. Zambians require action. If this government means action to fight corruption, we want to see it. We've seen nothing. In the 6 years of President Lungu's ruling, we have seen nothing. So, on top of failure to perform, babika pobufi. ati okupesha chibola nkumuboswela so liyanombe vintu vyabosoka alewemwa umechibola perform ivintu navibosoka apa aetsta perform instead ambako okubika po more promises Zambia yadabwa mwe aiti iwe you say to go back to ukabomba Zambia yabosoka instead waisa now kolwa. That's what the issue is. Okupesha chibola kuchita chani ero nomba chiriafiro okuchita because naisa na kolwa alunda po more promises eififi chitike muri manifesto yalero bufi bweka it's all important. Nothing more lies from a government that has failed. And they are going to increase the growth of the GDP, 10% growth. Woofy. There is no growth. There has been no growth for the past 6 years. The little growth were the cartels from the Mwanawasa and Rupia Banda administrations. That is what led to a little bit of growth here, Kobati. They made the sacrifices and catapulted growth 5 years down the line. After 2016, it's all been downhill. What has been the cause? Lack of economic vision, lack of economic discipline, lack of fiscal discipline, and saying things, if they do it, and theft. That has been the reason. Will this manifesto change anything? It will not change anything. The previous manifesto, they said that all the bus stations are going to be in the hands of the councils. Mao Sampa tried to do it in Lusaka. What happened to Mao Sampa? Today, he's being summoned by the very manager that Mao Sampa fired at City Market. I'd come and answer for your actions in the city. There is no truth whatsoever. There is no vision. If something at your baberenge, the thing is, first of all, they have no courage to follow through them. Nothing. This is why we are facing this economic confusion in Zambia. This is why we are facing this particular situation where our economy is going down. And so, here's a challenge to the people of Zambia. What can we do about it? There is definitely something we can do about it. Number one, first of all, we need to refuse. We need to tell the government, we are not interested in petty squabbles as innocent Zambians in the disputes that are existing between the Hatembos and Mr. Hichilema. If Mr. Hatembo, the Hatembos have lawyers, let them go ahead and appeal, and they should not involve us, number one, to the government. To Edith Nawakwe, we need to be very clear, but we are not interested in her shenanigans because if Hichilema ruled, she's going to be the first person benefiting from him. Because if you as University of Zambia students, if you when she was Minister of Finance, and Againde Hichilema was a what? Was an auditor. So bakebukisha. If you vale angala, bakebukisha. If you vale yeah, bakebukisha. If you vale noa, bakebukisha. And so it will be very easy for them to work together. And you as PF or UPND supporters, you'll be left in the court. We know what politicians can do. We know what politicians have done. Number three, continue with your hard work. That's why I would like to recognize this young man, Matomola. Jailed. Elo bamutuwalire efintu wati just defect tuwala kupera moto kanenda lama tubike po akana omwaiche. Uwakwa Mrs. Akana. No, I know there are a few problems in the UPND. I'm going to stick with the UPND. That is the kind of leadership we want. No, but Imamula cannot know they bring evidence. For evidence. When Mwetua said that the Patriotic Front was corrupting opposition MPs with cars to vote for Bill 10. The PF said, bring evidence. Number one, if you could yobushiko. Vifumbi na kuma lushi, uluchelo. Kenge, you lady yobushiku, uledi fast. Bantu tapali abalipo. Wadia. Chidia wacha nomba, ero nomba, chidia wamboko luka. Ero tuwamona. Ukweba ati mumalushi. Mumalushi, what is in there? Muli Jameson wine. Jameson wine. Is Jameson wine or whiskey? In a fiance ni beer. Jameson. Muli ama pizza. Muli derere. Fiance na chiremba muli amwine. Ero tuwamono kwa kanshuwa alire chiremba. Niuyu. And so Malanji gave an Isuzu double cup. Is it an Isuzu double cup? To one of the UPND MPs during the Bill 10 debate. After Bill 10 fails, aya poka. Everena poka. Legally, yes. Umuntu ngakupere chintu. There is no consideration. Kutaisa mkuku poka we. Kanchita mwaishi, right? FF undeliaba. Takuwa bafiyama gifts. Anywhere. So number apoka. I started report kuli wakapokolo but I've lost my Isuzu. Wakapokola na wabebere, no problem. Baya apoka. So the issue is in court. And so the issue will come down to when he was giving this Isuzu, did you give any consideration for it? Did he write down, I am giving this to you for your use? Absolutely. If there is nothing like that, Nishimoto kayakwa Malanji. That's it. Now, this shows you how corrupt they are. Malanji is extremely corrupt. Eicho imwe vaka lubale na vaka chokwe na vaka onde vaswa mema bonse imwe vaka lunda babululu besu ku northwestern province mwi ufwefe Malanji alelanda ngamirete rolu pia yene anso ngamiretera motoka kukana. The reason is motoka he can still come back ngefiare pokolo la kulika kampampi alepoka. Aim Kapalasa. What is his name? The MP for Katoa. Bale pokolola motoka aba pere. Ngami pera motoka akesa poka mwevo ku northwestern. So kanshi kumweba ati kutupere ko liquid cash. Bantu cash yali shupo ku pokolola. Umuntu ngakupera 1000. Ero waya shita mwefi yako ye. Ni chapa te. Nomba ngakupera motoka mwevo akesa poka. Bantu ni shita sign a deed of gift. Kanshi kuisa poka tini motoka yande. So kanshi mweba pululu sheso. Basuwa memo kukusolwezi. Mweni lunga. Ikelenge. Konsoko. Kuzambezi. Bapululu sheso. Konsoko. Ngamiretela Malanji na Charles Kakoma ngabaleta cash. Take it. Sheno. If ipefiena, muka mwebet no. No, because we know how you kelenkas work. Ife muka mwebe. Ukawati waka koma. Ukawati mweba Malanji. Tualishiba how you kelenkas work. What we need is physical money. Fuebene, ganimoto katuka yashita. But first of all, give us the cash. All right? Okay. I think, alabwafia. Watching, so I'm now going to go to the comments. Now, sometimes they go by very fast, so I might miss your comment. When I miss your comment, it's not personal. It's not because I'm not pata. No, it's sometimes difficult. Yeah. The judge also said you cannot argue fraud when you saw someone put on a fence. I like this. Because but it's true. We some good alleged fraud several years after fence. The last time that somebody tried to fence the entire Petauke in the Eastern Province, Tasila mwana walungu. Palawiso. If you done that, Tasila ni Palawiso. If you miss Palawiso, I de vika fence ku Petauke. We had to fence the entire forest at Chaba Chande. Panji Kaunda cried out, Panji umwana wakwa Kaunda, ukupapa. At the time that he saw the fence being erected, nomba kukalomo, wemuntu wamo na fence yaima, did you watch that suspect to cover what's going on? It's true. It's true. At your voice is being heard, wa lawyer sana Zambia. I don't know. Zambian lawyers are doing a lot of good things. I can't laugh at Zambian lawyers. They're doing excellently. So, mwireta omulomo. Stasio, mwireta omulomo between ireta babolulu shanda Zambian lawyers. No, we are okay. Yeah. Now, we used Umulomo to get connected to the Hatembos through her husband. Then now pretends that they are besties. Wafia. The very informed Zambians will determine the elections directly. Rose Limbrick, Tyler is devil. Really, this man wants to see bloodshed in Zambia because of one. This is extremely. It's very sad, and it's very sad. Yeah. Imagine I Nikatongo Mulenga Barnabas George. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, several people are calling Vareita Bantu. Iole Puisha. Chuempala formula. Not what a Chuempala plan. Not if you have a manifesto, I'm a Madongodongo. I have a PF Papangere. Criminal, I do watch IT. Yes, criminal investigations require a lot of resources. So, no, Manatu Monoko, but they're directing all the resources to Kalomo. Kanshi can we work up to level pangation and be in good books with Kampiongo. Kubewa Fiata will crack the case in Kalomo and they let you. Wafia. Jack Mulek, I closely follow their documentaries as well. Okay. What I don't get is Mrs. Mukuni has been charged. If you abducted someone, would you let them use your phone? Katwish. Alaboafia. Fimwefintukula wakofia bene ni pachibululu. Yeah. All these 2 decades, where have they been? There's an issue of forged assignment in the sale of land. What's your take about it? It's all a lie. Fiabu fimwebo. Forged assignment. Fiabu fi. My assignment is so petty. My analysis is so petty. Of course it is. It's not petty. Ruben Inkandu. I'm extremely petty. Particularly when umuntu wakuna konde. I am kuitumpa into private issues. If you want to kukalomo, if you buy kala, I am kutualo mulomo. Why shouldn't I be petty? It's okay. Konkanya popular reto mulomo. Pantunga pusho mulomo ko. Aga reto mulomo nomba kwesu. If you're twice karana vena kabende, aga rete mulomo. No. So come vera what? No. Let me be petty. If you David Free Chava. Tonga is the most hated. Our Naimwe is not the most hated. Each of you, we've got some selfish individuals. Because at least for now, the most credible opposition leader happens to be Tonga. So they don't want to lose power. If Hakainde Hichilema had no hope for the Zambian people, they would have left him alone. Malanchi must be investigated, of course. Because he's a crook. Joseph Malanchi. Upon dinayumfuati you are international. Kanshukutu wansanga kuno kuile. You are a crook. Malanchi is a shameless crook. Joseph Malanchi is a shameless thief, shameless crook. To corrupt everybody. Even SEC is investigating him for the helicopter. The helicopter. People question the Malanchi, why you say helicopter? And it's because I'm a businessman. Okay. So na kapalasa ilia aisuzu wampere na yoine. It's because shafumine ku business, aye. Kampalasa. Nina nishina ni kapalasa, kampalasa. Ndalaba mashina. These are crooks. Yeah. Thanks, the Hatembos have said the truth. Arrest Nawako. Yeah. I don't know where they are. I don't know how the whole issue will end, but it appears like the state is really on this case. Balefu waisha kuikata. Bwafya sana. Kwacha constituency good analysis Dongodongo. Thank you. How Munche don't defend Zambian lawyers? Why don't we hear them lobby for the degenerated situation? How they are there? Huh? Mwetwa is a Zambian lawyer. Frank Tayari is a Zambian lawyer. Haimbe is a Zambian lawyer. All these are Zambian lawyers that are fighting for the people of Zambia. No, but in Ntambe focus on lawyers like Mr. Angulu, Epera, Tutu Angulu, he's the only lawyer. No. I need to focus on Zambian lawyers that are really fighting for the people of Zambia. I shouldn't just be focused on what Tutu Angulu is saying. Yeah. Aubrey Kapalasa. So at Kapalasa Kanshi, he was given that vehicle because he was cleaning PF toilets. He has a company probably that did that. No, but it's a very uphill case. If gifts, particularly big gifts like vehicles and land, you can't just this is why we're asking about the presidential empowerment funds. President Lungu has a lot of money in the presidential, private money. So the question is, Chief Makwisa, under law, there is no presumption that a gift is freely a gift. The presumption is that when somebody gives you a gift, they're trying to buy a bargain. They're giving you money for a reason. And if you don't do what they gave you money for, they can come back for their gift. That kitchen party. No, kitchen party. Those are gifts, definitely. Because now it's a gift. Kitchen party. Now wedding. Those are gifts. No matter what you now pay gift ya motoka. The law says if nakupera motoka, I still have the right to kuisa mukupoka. You don't have the legal right that you want pere fie now umpera chanti. No, not under the law. So but that's what happened. Malanji apera motoka kapalasa. Ero nomba opri kapalasa. Asa fipenya overly achta a donch kubeba. Malanji ebere na isa mukupoka. That's my vehicle. What would the judge do? At you walimu pera. Akakana fiat. No, I did not. At you pantu walim pera nebona arensha. So what? Arensha motoka yande. At you walim pera because walim temwa. Where? Love and affection of Walemba. I give you this car for your use absolutely due to the love and affection I have for you. Nokusaina wa sign signature wa mupera. That's what should happen. Yeah. Thank you very much. If you have still not followed and liked our page, please do so. Because I'm a pages, I'm a pages, yeah. Yama tanta. If I'm I'm a pages, yama tanta no mulomo 100,020 likes. Nomba ifo fwebalandira kwabalanda. See? Tamututemwa. You don't like us. So please like our page because we have a message. So please like our page, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, send me stars. Like right now, you can send me stars. I'm a stars near from Facebook. You send me stars. Apparently, I get paid. Who knew? Stars. You send me stars. Because I'm taking a lot of time off to talk to you about Amatanta. So you know what? Give me stars. No, Amatanta. Go and see. Amatanta eka. You go like. If we 0. We are suffering. Yeah, oh Mandin. We are suffering. So please do like us so that this page grows, because turandira kofi abantu epera. Okay? God bless you and God bless our country. Thank you.